Hey Flash fans, this is Mel and Happy New Year to you all. So, surprise, surprise, if you guys haven't seen a previous video of me before, I thought I'd welcome the new year with you guys seeing my face for the first time. So, how about that? So, let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about episode 210, that is Potential Energy, which premiered Tuesday, January 19th, 2016. It's going to be the same format as usual. I'm going to try to get it all in 10 minutes and same 7 segments, but you'll just get my face to come along with it. So let me just start the clock quickly, 10 minutes, and let's begin. So something new that we learned in this episode, it's quite a bit. We have to deal with the metahuman called the Turtle, and basically he's kind of the reverse of what Barry can do. The Turtle can slow down time around him by drawing energy away from everybody into him, and when you don't have energy in you, that's kind of what slows you down. So they went into the science about it, about how all the energy from Barry was taken from by the turtle, and since Barry makes his own kinetic energy or something like that, that's how he slowly is able to work through the turtle's slowness until the turtle swarms him with his pulses again or something like that. All I know is that it's very cool how they show it all happening, and it's very cool how Barry still gets stuck within it, because I would have thought that Barry was fast enough to not be affected by the turtle's power. So it's a great surprise that he was affected and that he was completely aware of what was happening to him, even though he's supposed to be going at super speed, and yet he's pretty much stuck in time, essentially. So basically it was all about the turtle being the metahuman of the week type thing. Another thing we learned is actually the naming of Zoom back on Earth too, and this is through Dr. Wells telling Cisco about how the first instance of Zoom was being described as blue lightning zooming in and out as he killed 14 officers, with the surviving officer being left alive long enough to tell the tale, only for Zoom to return later on to kill him again. So that is how Zoom was named. And that story was brought up, and I like that story. The fact that we got to know the origin of his name was because Dr. Wells didn't like the idea of Cisco naming all the humans these ridiculous names. Although his names are amusing, but with Zoom it definitely had a very striking meaning for them for sure. Another thing we learned was that Wally West is a street racer. Yay! I'll get back to it later, but that's pretty much it. Also, we learned from Caitlin, after running some secret DNA tests on Jay Garrick's DNA, is that he is actually sick. So that was a bit of a shock. And he knows there's no cure except for his speed. So now Caitlin is fully on board in getting Jay's speed back by defeating Zoom. So I guess now it really is a race against the clock for Jay. So there's that. Another thing we learned is that Patty is leaving Central City. That was a surprise there, but I'll get back to that later. And another thing we learned, I guess it's reconfirmed for us in this episode, is the fact that Dr. Wells from Earth 2 will do anything to get his daughter back, whether it's from Zoom or anyone else. He's willing to do anything to get her back. So I guess it was always questioned to what extent he'd do things for her, but it's very clear in this episode. So moving on, most shocking moment of the episode is actually something I left out in what we learned, is the fact that the Reverse Flash returns at the very end. And he's wondering where the hell he is, and it kind of looked like the same street that he appeared on when he first traveled back to the night that Nora was killed. Like, it looks like that street, but I could be wrong. But his return was a surprise. If you have not seen the mid-season sizzle trailer for The Flash, if you did, then that's not really a surprise for you. The surprise for me, I found, was that Patty leaving Central City, and I will touch about that later on. So moving on to top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be Cisco's humor throughout the whole episode. I just really liked what he says. It's his wit, his sass and sarcasm and stuff like that, and I really like it. He definitely lightens the dire mood around him, so it's great to see Cisco not lose that humor. Next favorite moment has to be the Barry and Patty, when they're like blissfully in a relationship together, when they're on the date before the turtle interrupted, before she dropped the bomb that she was leaving. Their happy moments were great, and then also Jay and Caitlin, that little champagne moment they had between them, was really great before she found out about him being sick. So I enjoyed those moments. It's definitely for Caitlin, who lost Ronnie. She definitely deserves happy moments like that. And then for Barry, with him not having Iris and actually finding someone he could be with in Patty, then it's great to see those moments. So another favorite moment is the fact that we got to see Gideon again, and that was because of the Reverse Flash, and this time we saw him in like a wristwatch or a watch hologram. It was just great to see that invention back, because I really missed it from season 1. And so yeah, so there's that. I think it looks different too, doesn't it? Just let me know if you noticed that too in the comments below. Okay, top 3 peeve moments. And I think this is where I spent most of my thoughts on, because it's just 2 things, but they're like 2 big things. So the first one is Wally West. Okay, first off, we found out that he's a street racer. And apparently that's the only reason why he came to Central City, is because no one back home would race him anymore. And it's like, okay, if that's your only reason to come to Central City, then why in the hell did you show up at the Christmas party last episode and introduced yourself? If you needed more street racers, you could have just come to town and just found street racers. You didn't need to go and introduce yourself to a family you just found out about. I mean, that made no sense. Because at the beginning of the episode, when Joe was all excited about showing Wally about where he worked and where Barry worked and where Iris worked and stuff like that, and then inviting him to dinner, Wally was reluctant. He seemed very, what's the word? He didn't seem open to the idea of getting to know this new part of his family that he wasn't allowed to get to know growing up. So the whole time you got the vibe that he did not want to be there, and then you find out that he's a street racer, and the only reason he came to town was because he needed new races. It makes no sense. If you were only there to be a street racer so you can win the cars and then sell the cars to get the money for your mom's hospital bills, then you didn't really need to go introduce yourself to Joe and Iris and say that you're the long lost son that your mom hid you away from. And it just made no sense. And then the whole part about Wally missing dinner, that really ticked me off, because they even said that it got to the point where they were late in waiting for him, and there was no call, no text, no nothing from Wally saying he wasn't coming to dinner. And Joe brushed it off, saying that, oh, he probably has some excuse, or he's probably doing something. It's like, no, in this day and age with technology, doesn't take that long to send a text if you can't make it somewhere. It's like, if you're meant to meet someone up, you go meet up with them. And if you have to cancel, you go call them or you text them about canceling. You don't just not tell them and then just don't show up. Otherwise, they're going to assume that something bad happened. I mean, I just got a really ungrateful, inconsiderate vibe off of Wally the whole time. And when I heard that he was just doing the street racing to help his mom out, I didn't even care for me. It's like, if that was all you were there to do, then you could have foregone meeting the rest of the West family. I just didn't. Yeah. So second thing, the fact that Patty's leaving. That was a complete shock to me. I wasn't expecting it, especially with that letter that they show at the end before the turtle took her. I didn't think that she was leaving, especially with this whole episode with her wanting Barry to open up to her and not think that he had to be burdened on his own. This episode showed Patty wanting to move forward in her relationship with Barry. She wanted to get closer to him. She wanted to move on to that next step with him. And then she suddenly announces that she's leaving. It's like, it threw me off guard. It didn't make sense. It was like completely, it was going complete 180 from what she was trying to do that whole episode. So it has me thinking, is she leaving because the turtle took her and now she's deciding to leave? Or like, I don't know, it didn't, Patty announcing that she's leaving didn't sit well with the way she was handling the rest of the episode before that announcement. I don't know, I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. So next, what moment will I remember most as I look back on this episode? The fact that Patty is leaving Barry, and just when he was about to tell her that he was the Flash, there goes my alarm. Hold on. And that was pretty loud, sorry. But yeah, so the fact that if she's leaving, does that mean she still broke up with Barry? Or are they not going to do the long distance thing? I don't know. Another question. Speaking of, let's move on to random questions. Just a curiosity thing though, but did Patty's place kind of look like Diggle's place from the Arrow? I mean, I swear it looked eerily similar. Maybe they framed it, they put the camera in a different place to make it look different, but it still kind of looked like the same format. And I don't know if that's because like she could be in like the same building structure that is built the same as the one Diggle has back in Star City, or did the production company actually use the same building they used Diggle's place for? So I was just curious. That's just something I noticed, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Next question. Do you think Professor Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, is from Earth 2? Seems like it, though it didn't look like he came through a portal. So it has me wonder if he's from the future. Well, he has to be from the future. It's still Eobard Thawne. But the Eobard Thawne from Earth 1 is dead or is non-existent. So does that mean Earth 2's future Eobard Thawne somehow managed to time travel and jump worlds? How does that happen without a portal being shown? Let me know what you think about that. Next question. What exactly did Wells do to the turtle when he was in the pipeline cell? He stuck that weird syringe thing up his nose, and I think he grabbed some samples like that. But did him doing that kill the turtle at all? I was like, that was pretty uncomfortable looking, I'm just saying. But it definitely showed that Wells is willing to do anything to save his daughter. And speaking of, with this Dr. Wells, I'm not sure what side he goes for, because I guess my question is Wells secretly trying to find a way to steal Barry's speed for Zoom like he agreed to do at the end of last episode? Or is he actually going to use whatever he's found to use against Barry for Zoom and then use it against Zoom for Barry? Like, is he actually trying to find a way to steal speed so that he can use it against Zoom and not against Barry like Zoom thought? I hope that made sense. But with Wells, I'm definitely always questioning whose side he's truly on, even though I do like this Wells a bit better. Just the attitude and his responses and stuff. He's not as serious as the imposter Wells was, but that could just be me. So predictions quickly, since I did go over, but it's not that much, because at this point I haven't seen the promo for 211 specifically. But based off the synopsis, it mentions dealing with the Reverse Flash and the fact that Francine returns again and grows closer to Iris. So I guess that's their side plot, while Reverse Flash is your main plot next episode. And based off today's episode, it looks like Joe and Wally are going to be restarting their road to a father-son relationship. It's going to be a slow build. Which is best than just jumping right in as if you're my father and you're the son type thing. Another thing is that if today was Patty's last day, or I guess last episode we see her, and she's technically going to be gone from Central City in the next episode, then we'll probably see Barry dealing with her leaving, and whether or not he's actually broken up about it, or if he's just going to brush it off and have it like, I can move forward from this type thing. So Barry's reaction is something we're going to see maybe. And also, I mentioned it earlier, but if you haven't seen the mid-season sizzle reel, then I suggest you go do that. It can be found on the CW Network's YouTube channel. and because there are lots of spoilers in there, I think it covers at least 3 or 4 episodes, so maybe 210, 211, 212, maybe 213, maybe. But I don't want to mention anything that was in there now, because it's one hell of a spoiler, but I will say this. A Trip to Earth 2 is going to be in our very near future. So maybe next week, maybe the week after that. But I can't wait to see what Earth 2 is really like and how different it is from Earth 1. So there you have it, guys. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like? What did you think you could have done without? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and to share this with any of the other Flash fans you know. Spread the word around, help bring the fan base up, and just keep the conversation going. And just a quick reminder, I won't always do these videos where you can see me. I'll definitely go back to the usual format before, but every now and then I might just pop in and say hi like this. So be on the lookout for that surprise. I just thought I'd welcome the new year like this. So yeah, and also don't forget that this week is the series premiere of Legends of Tomorrow on Thursday. So check that out. Also, Arrow returns tomorrow as well. So check that out as well. It's definitely a big week of returns for everything. So you'll definitely see more updates from me. So until then, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, great week wherever you are. And I hope you guys tune in next week to talk about The Flash some more. So until then, bye for now, guys. Bye.